Hello, grade 9 students. Okay, this time we're going to discuss Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, this is version 2 of our study on Pythagorean Theorem. So apply the Pythagorean Theorem to determine unknown side lengths in right triangles in real world and mathematical problems in 2 and 3 dimensions. Let's first have a warm-up. Solve for x in number 1 and number 2. I think these are quadratic equations. What's the answer? X squared equals positive negative 6. Yes, just transpose 43. Just transpose 7. 43 minus 7 is what? 36. Get the square root of both sides. Positive negative 6. How about this? Transpose 64 maging 100. Get the square of both sides. Positive negative 10. Yeah. Number 3 and 4, evaluate. A is 12, B is 5, C is 13. Number 3, A squared plus B squared. Yeah. Okay, 12 squared plus 5 squared. That means 144 plus 25 is 169. How about this? Number 4, C squared minus B squared. 13 squared minus 5 squared. That means 169 minus 25. 144. Yeah. Okay. How can we use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for missing length of a right triangle? Okay. So we have here a right triangle in pink. What is the length of the... Okay, what are the lengths of the sides of the right triangle? So for the legs, we have 4 units and 3 units. And for the hypotenuse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. No? So bale yung 5 units, gagawa ka ng square na 5 ang dimensions niya. Ito naman 3 by 3, ito naman 4 by 4. So what is the Pythagorean theorem in symbol form? Okay, we all know that. I discussed this from our topic, Pythagorean theorem, also in version 1. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. You know? So that means the sum of the squares of the legs of a right triangle is equal to the square of its hypotenuse, the longest side. Okay, which of these variables represent the hypotenuse? C is the hypotenuse. C is the hypotenuse, is always the longest side. And once you have figured out which is C, does it matter which leg is A and which B? No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter kung magpagpalit mo yung A and B as long as they are the legs of the rectangle. Okay, take notes. Step to solve for missing side of a right triangle using the Pythagorean theorem. Step 1, write the formula. Step 2, substitute known values for the variables. Step 3, solve the equation for the missing variable. Okay. Sample 1. In a right triangle whose legs are 8 feet and 15 feet, find the length of the hypotenuse x. Okay, step 1, write the formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's a Pythagorean theorem. Step 2, substitute known values. Which number goes where? You need to identify the hypotenuse. It's the one opposite of the right angle. Yes, x the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always going to be the C in the formula. So since we do not know the value of C, it stays as C in the formula. Does it matter where we use A equals 8 or 15? No. Let's use A equals 8 and B equals 15. So 8 squared plus 15 squared equals C squared. Then step 3, solve for the missing variable, in this case C. So square mo na yung 8, 64. 8 times 8, 64. 15 times 15, 225. Then add 64 plus 225 is 289 equals C squared. Then after that, get the square root of both sides. C is equal to... Okay, so we are not done yet. We found C squared but not just plain C. So dapat get the square root of both sides. Yan. Square root of 29 equals square root of c squared. Therefore, c is equal to 17. 17, because 17 times 17 is 289. And we choose the positive one because, you know, we are speaking about lengths, or talking here about length. So it's always positive. So therefore, x is equal to 15. So we were told to solve for x, not c. So we should replace the c with an x. So therefore, x is equal to 17. Yan. Solve na yung 1. Okay, let's try this one in your notes. Find x. Yeah, 5 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. 25 plus 144 equals x squared. 25 plus 144 is 169 equals x squared. Get the square root of both sides. Therefore, x is equal to what? What's your answer? 13. Yes. Square root of 169 is 13 because 13 times 13 is 169. Therefore, x is equal to 13. The hypotenuse. That's the length of the hypotenuse. Okay, find x round to the nearest hundredths. This time, mayroon ng given. Hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse is given, which is 14 inches. Tapos, one leg is 6 inches. What's the length of the other leg? Yung x. So, step 1, write out the formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Substitute known values. Which numbers goes per? This time, we're given the hypotenuse. Opposite of the right angle. So, c is equal to 14. Does it matter whether we use a equals 6 or b equals 6? Again, the answer is no. So, let's use b equals 6. So, in this case, we're trying to solve for a. So, a squared plus 6 squared equals 14 squared. Yan. Step 3 na tayo. Solve for the missing variable, in this case, a. So, square mo na yung 6. 6 times 6, 36. 14 times 14, 196. So, a squared plus 36 equals 196. Subtract both sides by 36. Okay, we just add the two numbers and do the square root. No, they are not on the same side of the equal sign. So, yun, transpose natin. 196 minus 36 is 160. Let's get the square root of both sides. What is a? A, using your scientific calculator. Square root of 160 is 12.65. Yeah, to the nearest hundreds. Yeah, therefore, the length of the other leg, x, is 12.65. Okay. Now, what's the difference between the two examples? So, both have you squaring the given values. Both have you using the square root at the end. Yes. And the only difference is in the middle. Example 1 has you adding the numbers. Example 2 has you subtracting the smaller from the larger. What does this mean? When you have two sides of a right triangle, you can find the third using the Pythagorean Theorem. Square both of the measurements you have. Add or subtract the two numbers depending on whether or not you have the hypotenuse. Subtract if you have it, add if you don't. Find the square of the result, and you have your missing side. Okay, try this one in your notes. The legs are 15 and 20. Find the length of your hypotenuse x. Round your answer to the nearest hundreds if necessary. What's your answer? Add mo lang, 15 squared plus 20 squared. 225 plus 400, 625. Square root of 625 is 25. The length of x is 25. Try this one in your notes. So for x, round your answer to the nearest hundreds. Okay, again, hypotenuse is missing yung x. So 7 squared plus 12 squared, 49 plus 144. So your answer 13.89 using your scientific calculator and getting the square root. Yes. 144 plus 49. Ano ba dyan? Square root of 144 plus 49. 193. Square root of 193 is 13.89. This time, solve for x, one of the legs. Because hypotenuse is 5, the other leg is 3. What's the measure of the other leg? One leg is 3, what's the measure of the other leg? Solve for x, round your answer to the nearest 100 if necessary. So ano lang yan, 25 minus 9. 16, square root of 16 is 4. I know you get it. How about this? Subtraction naman to kasi given yung hypotenuse. 30 squared minus 7 squared. That means 900 minus 49. 900 minus 49, 851. And what's the square root of 851? 30.81. Okay, you can use your calculator. Okay, try this one in your notes. If the hypotenuse of this triangle is 10 and A is 6, which equation would you use to find B? A, B, C, or D? What's your answer? 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, the answer is D. 36 plus B squared equals 100. Okay, that's the end of our discussion. Short discussion on Pythagorean Theorem. This is version 2. Goodbye and see you next time.